No matter how good the sailors are, a ship wouldn't reach the Earth's limits without a solid captain. While we've witnessed the greatest minds on the server over the years, only two players rose above the rest and distinguished themselves as the best IGLs of all time. Gla1ve is perhaps the most decorated in-game leader who changed the way Counter-Strike was being played. He has called for years and led Astralis to become the best team. And Karrigan, who reached the highest heights recently with FaZe Clan. He's well known as the mastermind due to his incredible mid-round reads, and more importantly, pushing and making players shine. The conversation for who's the best IGL of all time is a tough one, with two different opinions that both have convincing arguments. However, the conversation could change in the upcoming 2024 season during the CSGO era. I would like to remind you guys that this is more of a personal opinion, so don't come for my head if you don't agree with me. Before FaZe Clan's recent success, Gla1ve was considered the best of all time, regardless of Karrigan's megamind, as he had no achievement to back it up. With 4 major trophies to Gla1ve's name, the first Intel Grand Slam winner on top of 20 other notable trophies, Astralis' era is certainly not luck, but instead a result of hard work and tactical brilliance. After all, it was during that era when Astralis showcased to the world how Counter-Strike was meant to be played, through their advanced utility usage and dominating strategies which created a team like no other before. Throughout the years, Finn did what Lucas couldn't, finding success with multiple lineups and teams. Not to undervalue Lucas's achievements, but they were all exclusive to a single period with a single lineup before taking a 4-month break due to stress and burnout. Karrigan, on the other hand, has found success with multiple international lineups, reaching the tops of the leaderboard with TSM, Mouse, Astralis, and later FaZe Clan. Doing it with a single lineup is hard enough, let alone doing it constantly over the years with international teams. Some argued Karrigan peaked during his first tenure with FaZe, but then he came back again stronger and better than ever to harvest every single trophy there is, which is something Gla1ve never did after Astralis fell 3 years ago. The in-game leading role isn't restricted to calling the plays, but rather an IGL has a lot of influence on the players themselves in and out the server. Karrigan is very efficient at making his structure work and leading players to greatness. He's done this with so many players and even with aspiring young talents like Brokey and Robs, which is something Gla1ve wasn't able to achieve with Farlig, Mr. Unlucky during their time with Astralis. Yes, comparing Brokey and Robs to Farlig and Lucky might seem unfair, which opens the door to the argument of Karrigan having a star lineup while Gla1ve achieved greatness with lesser firepower. But is that actually the case? Xyp9x, Dupree, and Device were the core of TSM before forming Astralis, which had a solid team with a good foundation. With all the players appearing in the HLTV Top 20 ranking, it's hard to say that Gla1ve was working with up-and-coming players, but rather he was the cherry on top to guide them into greatness. With Device's consistency, Dupree's entries, and Xyp9x clutches, it was an actual star lineup and nowhere close to being considered a lesser firepower than the current FaZe Clan. Peak Astralis had multiple ways to win a round, and you could truly never count them out of a round. We can't talk about Prime Astralis without mentioning Zonic, one of the best coaches, if not the best ever. He had an enormous influence tactically on many levels, making the team the new standard for togetherness and synergy. He is certainly a great strategic mind, and some of the team's success may be due to him rather than Gla1ve's strategies. But of course the IGL and coach work together. Yes, Gla1ve's achievements are unmatched, and the 4 majors might never happen again in history. However, here's what you're forgetting about Karrigan. He is a 33-year-old leader who is in his prime time, has built and led international rosters, took them to win trophies, and is the only player to win a trophy with a stand-in for 2 different players and positions. Karrigan's constantly been a genius over the past few years, and while he may have had individual performance issues for a period, he certainly hasn't lost his touch. While FaZe Clan were contenders for the last CSGO major, okay, maybe not really contenders. I mean, they were contenders before the event started because they had a great run during that year. but they sucked ass and they choked terribly. And yeah, anyway, even like that, Astralis wasn't even in the conversation as they failed to qualify to the event for the second time in a row. From the best team to ever exist to missing the major entirely should be added to the conversation. I mean, yes, Gla1ve did have 4 major wins, which is absolutely amazing and fantastic, but he also didn't make 2 majors in a row, which is quite a lot, to be honest. If Karrigan lifts his second major trophy in 2024 with Frozen, then the debate should be settled for all the doubters. Thank you for watching.